Okay, so I'm going to be looking at fantasy sports, specifically Tradesports.com. So the issue is that Tradesports.com is a site that allows users to bet on fantasy sports, any sports, and not just the games, but the outcomes of specific players and specific teams. So Ron Bernstein, the co-founder of InTrade, which was a site that let people bet on the outcomes of real-world events, made this new site, Tradesports.com. This site allows users to buy shares and make bets on the games and sports that they watch. And basically, the issue is that this may constitute as gambling, which is not allowed. But Bernstein argues that it's just a game of skill and not actually online gambling. But so far, there is no clear answer as how the beta, which has been announced last week, will perform and if it will be shut down as of yet. So the stakeholders affected by this product are the general public who use Tradesport.com to bet on games, outcomes, and like the managers of Tradesports.com, who have to ensure a balance of winning and losing based on the shares each person buys per game per sport. So there are pros and cons for the general public. One is that it allows people who avidly watch sports and people who want to keep up to date with their sports to bet and get even more involved. And it's also a way to make some money on the side. But some of the negative aspects are that users may not trust this system because it came from the CEO of InTrade, which was a site that crashed and burned. Users may also be wary of the online banking or security fraud that may come about from using PayPal accounts to transfer money back and forth. So the real question about this is this online gambling? Some think it is, which is why this site is banned in 10 states in the US. However, there are free games on the site which users from any state can play just for fun. And users can bet on multiple aspects in this. So we could look at the outcomes of games, the league standings, or specific player performances per game. Now the shares in this game is that the way the game is played is users pay a $2 minimum entry fee to play in certain rounds and certain games. Each user is then given the same amount of fantasy money to buy and sell shares in teams. These shares can range from the performance of a single player to that of the whole team during a game. Whoever has accumulated the most money by the end of the game wins a certain amount of money which is transferred to their PayPal account. For the PayPal account, this is online banking, and CEO Ron Bernstein argues that this game is more skill than luck. So to prove that point, the game has been made so that players must commit a certain amount of shares to at least 3 different outcomes, which diversifies the betting and makes it more about skill than luck. With this in mind, users have to pay $2 per game, so they are losing money, but the money circulates based on the winners because winners can win any amount of money based on who puts what into which share and how much they win by. So the PayPal accounts, whenever they win, the money that they win in real life is transferred to their PayPal account. And this accounts for all the winnings, and all the losings that they have gets transferred out of their account into a general account, which then distributes the winnings to all the players. So one of the negative impacts of this is that online banking is not well trusted, like in specific instances like this. Users may enter faulty faulty PayPal accounts, which may be false in some instances, and the site is still in beta mode, so issues haven't really come up concerning the negative impacts of PayPal accounts. But there should be a way of verifying online accounts to make everyone feel more safe and to ensure that no one else enters in false or faulty PayPal accounts. So some of the positive aspects of this are that it allows avid sports watchers and fantasy players a chance to put money into the game and get in on the action. This game is set up to be balanced so there are not too many winners or losers, and that everyone must play a minimum of 2 games that are paid, which means that users have to pay at least $4 every now and then to make sure that the money keeps circulating and that there are winners every now and then. And when they play these 2 games, it also gives most or even all the players out there who haven't really been winning that much a better chance, because now there's more money going into the system. Also, per game, there's a maximum amount of players, which means that the betting remains within a certain group, so it doesn't expand to too many players and it doesn't get out of hand. So it keeps the betting reasonable. Another negative aspect of this is that this site may be, some gamblers may be exposed to this site, which gives them easy access to this because it's an online source, so they could easily go on here, which is detrimental to their health. Also, it was made, again, by Ron Bernstein, who was co-founder of InTrade, which allowed users to bet on real-world issues such as politics. And this is cause for some to be skeptical and maybe even avoid this site, which also decreases the amount of users that the site will have in total, thus lessening the amount of money that they generate. So, some solutions can be made to solve these problems. For one, because the site is still in beta and only a select few are allowed to join at the time, users can relay feedback to the managers, supplying them with certain issues that come up while playing, and any kinks or glitches that may need to be fixed before the real version comes out. Because this site is set up like the stock market, it could be made to follow the same format as the stock market, which means that any rises or falls could be handled based on previous dealings with the stock market. So, as to the issue of faulty PayPal accounts, users again should be made to verify their accounts or keep them up to date with a monthly check-in, which allows the site to remove any accounts that are no longer in use and get rid of users that no longer use the site, and also allows them to get rid of faulty PayPal accounts which fail to meet security requirements as well.